My name is Eddie Bannayan. My mother is Jordanian from the town of Madaba, and my father is from Jerusalem, from neighbouring Palestine. I was born and raised in Amman, the capital city of Jordan, and I'm out and proud queer. And being able to say that sentence alone in front of an audience of people honestly sends shivers down my spine. This is the first time I've shared part of my journey with people publicly, so forgive me if I'm a bit of a mess. You must understand that it's almost impossible to speak about queer pride to an Arab audience. And wow, is it hard to display your pride and heritage in front of a non-Arab audience. I want to preface my story just by saying that I consider myself to be extremely privileged. I'm very privileged that I have at least some members of my family that accept who I am. And I'm privileged that I've had the opportunity to leave Amman and grow into my pride as a queer person. I grew up very sheltered, and the LGBTQ+ community was very distant to me, and the thought of being gay was never really entertained until I was a teenager, where just the thought of that took a toll on my mental health. That was until the day before we started the 11th grade, and my best friend came out to me as bi, and in a rush of emotions, I spontaneously came out to him back, and that was the start of a new journey for me. From then on, we spent hours and hours talking about queer spaces in the Middle East, developing a queer Arab space, a place where we can express both our cultural and sexual identity simultaneously, a place where we didn't need to whitewash ourselves to feel queer. And back to the point of privilege, I want to say this, and I say this with the heaviest heart and the greatest pain in my chest, but I sadly feel really privileged that my family left Palestine when they did. Because had they not, I honestly have no idea if I would be standing here with you guys today. My father was born in Jerusalem in 1968, just a year after the Six-Day War, and left to Jordan at the age of 7. As you know, should a Palestinian leave the country, they have no right to return. My family has no right to return and live freely in their country, roam their streets, dine in their favorite restaurants. It's all gone. And thinking of that tears me to shreds every time, because I dream of one day visiting my country. And my hope from this story is that I help humanize queer Palestinian people to you guys. We are a resilient community, but we're resilient, but we're thriving in secret. And to be honest with you, I haven't allowed myself to feel emotion or cry about this yet. Because if I saw a chunk of our land being blown by a missile and I cry every time, who is going to speak up? It's my responsibility to fight for my father and my aunt and my grandmother and generations of my family before them who lived on Palestinian land. So please, I need to let you guys know that I need that fucking time to cry. So if you're non-Arab, I beg of you, please speak up. Please use your voices and the platforms that you have. Please let us mourn the people of our country. Silence is violence. We will not accept white queer people preaching intersectionality while dipping their carrots in our hummus and making falafel for their veggie diets, while staying silent about our country being obliterated by a military superpower. We will not and we will never tolerate it. And the queer Palestinian community has never and will never sit here and allow non-Arab queer people to weaponize our pain against us, to justify the pain of our people through the pink-washed Israeli lens. We will not sit here and tolerate white queer people bragging about how they're illegal in 74 countries when they're not the ones being affected by queerphobia in our communities. Activism is not transactional. We are not undermining the struggle of queer people around the world, but do not use us to exacerbate your own oppression. Yes. And to incredible non-Arab queer people, which I'm sure there are a lot of you here, who have been fighting for us, using your platforms, educating yourselves. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been a long time coming, but I'm so glad I get to finally see the support on such a large scale. Because of your support, I and so many other queer Palestinians finally feel like we can share our pride in our entire identities simultaneously in the same breath. So thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you all for having me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and free Palestine!